Hi Gemini and welcome back. So if you've been before in my channel, then you know how these readings will work. So I start the monthly reading usually with identifying the kind of energy that is crowning this time, this period of time for you. And then I go into the cards and I'll tell you a bit more about if I feel called to, about the astrology that's related to it. Now, before we get into the reading, I just would like to ask you if you like this reading, if you can just put a like on it, if you can share it with people that you think they may benefit from it, and definitely please subscribe to my channel. If you don't know me yet, this is a very new channel. I just started a few weeks ago, and I'm trying to put out content that can be helpful to anyone out there that feels drawn to my readings, and so subscribing allows my channel to grow and these videos to be seen by more and more people. So thank you for that. Okay, so let's get into the reading. So like I said, I start usually with a card that tells me what kind of energy you're surrounded by in this period of time. And by the way, I'm naming this video April 2024 because this is what I'm recording it for. But you will find it whenever you find it, that's the time you're supposed to be listening to it. So don't you get too hooked up on the dates, okay? So the card that came out as your energy at this time is the card of Virgo, which I mean is a card that is interesting to have when you are trying to go about life in the way that the cards are showing me right now, and I'll get to them in a minute, of course. But you may want to pay attention to this energy because it's like Virgo and Gemini are not similar in the sense that Virgo is an earth sign and you, Gemini, are definitely an air sign. But the one thing that these two signs do have in common is a very fast thought process. Your mind is restless. Both your minds are restless. Like you are constantly on the go. You're constantly thinking of something. You're constantly thinking about doing this and doing that. And now Virgo does it in a different way. Does it in a way that needs organization because they're excellent at organizing things. You Geminis, maybe not so much. Your mind may be scattered, but that's because you're so creative. You have so many ideas. You just don't always put them into place very easily. So the fact that the card of Virgo comes up can mean a couple of things. But first and foremost, it could mean that you have also some Virgo placements in your chart. And if that's the case, just please pay attention to that. See which planet is in Virgo. And that will tell you a bit more about the area the way you're going to face this how can I say this thought process will be applied like if it's Venus, it will be probably more so in the way you will look into relationships or your finances. If it's Mars, it will be more attuned to the way you present yourself to the world, how you assert yourself in the world, and so on and so forth. But it could also mean that perhaps there's somebody prominent in your energy that has Virgo Virgo placements in their chart, and in that case, you may want to obviously check also the Virgo reading. In either way, I would say that if a sign shows up like it's the case right now with Virgo, then definitely there is some connection to that energy. So it's always valuable to go check this sign, even if you don't have any placements, because there may be that the energy is very similar and this is what is affecting you at this moment. Okay, so now, about Virgo itself, Virgo is a sign, and I would know a lot about it because I have a stellium in Virgo, so I do have a lot of Virgo in my chart. Virgo is a sign that is very organized, like I said, very picky, but it's also very helpful to others. It's a sign that is in service of others, literally. It's a sign that opposes the sign of Pisces, which is also a sign in service of other people, but they do it in two very different ways, Virgo and Pisces. they just want to help. Virgo want to be practical about the way they help themselves and people. Now, the problem with Virgos is usually that there's so much up in their minds, like you can be, Gemini. And the problem with that is that obviously can lead to burnout that is self-made in a way, if I, for lack of a better term. Sometimes Virgos see things that are not there really. They always tend to look into what possible scenarios could happen and what could manifest, and they look into things in a very serious way. That's why also Virgo is usually associated with the sixth house and the matters of health, amongst other things. Which, health is a serious thing, and the Virgos are really good at that. They're really good at handling serious things. But sometimes, like you can have the occasional hypochondria coming up when Virgo is an energy that is very present around you, or if you have it in your chart, that can be, one of the things. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so it's all about the mental process and thinking more and finding out more and try to, like unravel everything. So it's pretty much what I'm trying to say is that your thought process, given that you're a Gemini at this point in time, is very much highlighted as a possible cause of distress. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's all about that. Absolutely not. In fact, actually, your reading is pretty, I find it pretty cool because to me it speaks of one thing and one thing only, but we'll get into that in a minute. But it's more so the one caution is try to keep that restless mind of yours at bay. Sometimes you just need to really take a step back, breathe, and realize that what you're doing is really rushing left and right, and you may as well get to the same results without having to be so into your mind, let's put it that way, because that could also affect eventually your health. Like to just stick to the subject of health, if that's the case. Overloading your mind is never a good thing to do. I mean, our brains need some rest, which Geminis, you really are not good at that. You are really always trying to create something. You're wonderful that way, but you sometimes forget to take care of yourself, and you forget that rest time is needed to help your brains think more and think better and think faster and think more usefully, in a way. You see what I mean? So one more thing I want to say about Virgo, it's not just about health, it also is about, let's say, the daily work and the way you go about it. Again, very organized. You need to know that everything is in place. You have your system. You don't like when that is disrupted. So there may be also caution on that and saying, hey, this is the energy that crowns the time and space that we're now. But, let's not forget that there are many ways to look at things. There are, you're a Gemini, you know that you can do things in several ways. So let's not lose sight of the different possibilities and perspectives. So one thing I would say that you may want to do is really pay attention on what clutters your mind at this time. You may be focusing on a whole lot of details that maybe are not that necessary to be taken into consideration. Because if I look at your reading, it seems like you already know what you want and you're already going for it, but you maybe are paying too much attention to stuff that is just a bit irrelevant, which is a tendency of Virgos. They really kind of look in detail at the picture, and they sometimes fail to see the bigger picture, which would save them a whole lot of mental process that gets wasted on the way. And that's sadly something that I would know all about it. So, Virgo is a gentle sign. It's very mild in nature. It loves small things, small animals, plants. They're in one with nature. And I would actually suggest that you would go have a look also at the reading I did for Taurus, because they had the 6th house coming out, which, like I said, is more often than not Virgo is associated with, and they're also very fond of nature and nurturing the, you know, the little things and the beautiful things. And Virgo, being an earth sign, shares that with Taurus, and I'm thinking of Taurus, so there may be a connection there too. So yeah, so I guess this is pretty much all I wanted to say. Well, one last thing. Virgos are known to be quite critical of themselves, first and foremost, and of others if, you know, you get around to not make people very happy. That's the one thing they will notice about Virgos is, oh, they're very critical. They're just, you know, they like to criticize a lot, and they're not very kind when that happens. But that is when a Virgo really feels hurt, which by all means doesn't justify being spiteful or critical, but that can be something that Virgos can actually lean on to whenever things don't go exactly the way they'd like to. But that's just usually it stems from hurt, because it really takes a lot to hurt a Virgo that would go, you know, very long distances to help anyone on this planet, starting from humans, ending with animals, or the other way around. So yeah, so these are all the things I'd like you to keep in mind when you get into the reading and when you get into your month of April, if this is when you're listening to this video, because this is the caution that you know, these are the factors that you would need to pay attention to, okay? All right, so let me put this card down now that we have talked about the energy, and let's get a look into the rest of the cards that have come out for you. So, funnily enough, indeed, the first card, the card that opens the reading, is the Knight of Swords. That to me is really all about like having an idea in mind, having a plan, having something that you are figuring out for yourself, and that you know that will be useful for you, or that will be fulfilling for you, and you're just gonna go for it. And no matter what, you know, what is on your way, you're just going to trip over it if necessary. I mean, you're just gonna go for what it is that you want. And that is a very, I would say, Gemini way to do things when they get inspired. I mean, you will know when you get inspired, Gemini, you just don't see anything. You just see the positive of it. And so you just want it. You just go for it. The only thing, again, is that the Knight of Swords kind of carries this quality that you have embedded in you as a Gemini by yourself, which is, you know, this rashness, this, you know, sometimes this is an assertiveness that comes across as a bit, how can I say, a little blunt for others, a little too quick, you know. There's a whole lot of passion, there's a whole lot of intelligence, which you definitely don't lack, Gemini. And so you know what you're doing most of the time, but maybe comes across in ways that are not super helpful to others because they're a little too much. But I mean, it seems like you are going towards something that you understand, you're aware, that will bring you abundance, that will bring you what it is that you want to feel fulfilled. And you want to get, you know, to go about it with this approach that is very Gemini-like, which is about let me do it and then I see how it feels. So you just don't want to sit on it. You just want to go for it, and you are pretty. It feels to me that you are pretty convinced and sure that this is going to bring you exactly where you want to be. And where you want to be, it seems to be like a place where most of us would love to be, I would say, which is a place where you feel grounded, where you feel fulfilled, where you know, like this is a general reading, so it will resonate with all of you in a different way. But if it's finances that you're looking into, then you're going to find fulfillment in that area. If it's family, then that will be it. If it's you know, a matter of a friendship, whatever it is, that will be, it seems like you're going towards it. You're doing everything in your power to implement whatever it is that it's needed for you to get to this point here. So it's how you go about it that I just would pay a little bit of attention to, because you are you're a wonderful sign in that you can really look at things in a very broad way. And you have in this reading, you have a whole lot of cards that tells me they really remind me of the Gemini energy. We have the Fool that even if it's an Aries card, it does remind me of the the lightheartedness that Gemini brings along whenever there's something new ahead, that they're thinking, oh, but this could be good, and so they're just like, okay, let's embrace it, so the Fool, for some reason, even if it's an Arian card, I do associate it also to some of your Gemini qualities. But so is the Page of Cups, and then like this kind of like, okay, what is possible, what can I dream about, and I'm sure it can happen. If I can dream it, I can have it. And so again, because you have so many ideas and you're so good at it, and there are cards here about ideas and communication and all of that, like we got this one, we got the Page of Swords, that to me also speaks of really like restless energy first and foremost. And so let's stress again this Knight of Swords quality, this restlessness, this rushness. Maybe there's a thirst for knowing, for information, for learning. It's a very, again, it's an energy that I associate a lot to the sign of Gemini. And it's the Page of Swords is an incredible quick communicator, which is also represented here by the Eight of Wands. You see, like there's a whole lot of fast communication. Here's the Hangman, that tells me that you are able definitely to see things from a million perspectives, which is one of your major qualities, and one of your innate qualities. You don't need you don't need anybody to coach you on that. You know exactly how to do it. So this whole reading here tells me about this about you embodying the most Gemini energy that there could be. So if you are here to get some kind of confirmation on whether you're going in the right direction in whichever project you have in mind, whatever is dear to your heart at this specific time, I would say that definitely you're getting there. I mean, the reading was ending with the Ace of Pentacles here, which was a clarification that I pulled for the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands kind of looks into what is possible and has a whole lot of ideas and a whole lot of dreams. But then the Ace of Pentacles actually makes it, it concretizes it. It means that it's happening. It's going there. So I would say it's very positive. I mean, there's nothing here that is wrong, but I keep feeling this sense of this is fantastic, but just maybe approach it in a more Virgon way, where you can, if not organize it a bit better, maybe try to be a bit more cautious of whoever you have around, because you seem to be going about it in a very like, I wouldn't say selfish, but more so like, hey, this is my way, this is my path, this is what I want to do. So just, get off my way sort of thing. And maybe that, the not the advice, because I'm not here to give you advice, but what comes out of this reading is, hey, maybe you can go about it, this way. You can also, you can be a Knight of Swords, but you can also be a Knight of Cups. So maybe you can just be a little bit gentler and a little bit more considerate of the space that you share with others, because there's a reminder here that things have to be, balanced out, that there's need for a bit of the card of give and take is not here, but that's what I feel like. This card tells me that perhaps there's a need to calm this energy enough for you to be able to also look around you. And by all means, you're supposed to go where you're going. You know exactly what it is. You have it very clear in your head, and you're right. It's gonna take you here. So absolutely fine. Just as a Gemini, that, especially as a Gemini, that you live with others. There are people around us, and it's a fundamental thing for you that you can share with others, that you can bounce ideas off others, and keep the conversations going, and keep being stimulated mentally. So you don't want to push people away with this kind of attitude. So just be mindful of that, because all the rest speaks of knowing what you want, going for it, and being the wonderful light that you usually are, Gemini. So whichever the area of your interest and the reason why you're here, I would say that this is a very positive what you're doing. Just a caution about, take care of your brain, take care of how you process things, because that in turn will also help others. Even being closer to you and being supportive of you. And if that's not what you're looking for, which by all means, I would say that this is very much of a one-man journey sort of thing. If that's not what you're looking for, but you're also not looking for, to hurt people or to isolate yourself, because the Gemini cannot be isolated. That doesn't, it just cannot survive that way. So that's the only thing I would say, but everything else looks splendid, and I think you know exactly what you're doing. So well done you. This looks like a beautiful month. Now, I just would like to pull one more card. This is some sort of guidance, if you wish. It's just it's a deck that I particularly love, because I feel like it's usually very much in tune with the readings, and we'll see if that's the case in this one too. But I love that the messages are so deep and short but to the point, and I love that. So it's the Spirit Messages deck. Let's see what card jumps out for you as a guidance, let's say, for this month, if the card jumps out. And if it doesn't, okay, a couple jumped up in the end. Okay, so we have a card of let go. This is the card, let go. I'll read it to you in a minute. And the other card is, of course, it's nature. Like I said, this Virgo energy that's influencing your this time is very present in here in the word nature, because like I said, Virgo, just like Taurus, is very connected to nature. So maybe this is something that you can keep in mind to calm yourself down a little bit, to ground yourself, to just not to be too hooked up into the mind and the process and how to go about it. This go kind of energy may not be helpful to you at this moment, unless you actually apply a little bit of connection to nature. But let's read it. Let's read actually the first card that came out. It says let go. So I didn't mention anything about letting go in this reading, so I'm curious to see what it's all about. But one thing I'm drawn to is the image. I don't know if you can see it, because even here there's a whole lot of leaves. They look like maple tree leaves. Maybe it's yeah, it looks like a fall or autumn, depending on which part of the world you're in. Again, there's the feels like there's a connection to nature in here too. But let's read this card. It says, once you let go of the outcome, you'll be able to release all the emotional constraints that have held you back in the past. Trust in the higher good and guidance of spirit, as we have only your best intentions at heart and will do everything in our power to protect you. Okay, so the way I connect this card to the rest of the reading is indeed that perhaps if you maybe you can get out of your head, trusting that you're being taken care of by spirit. You're not alone in the journey, even if this is a one-man journey on the 3D. You're always never alone. Spirit is always with you, so you can actually let go of all the mental process. That's how I would interpret it, but of course you take what resonates. Let go of this need to apply so much energy and rashness, I would say, into this, and trust that you are guided by a force that is much bigger than any of us. And then the card of nature says, this is a time to absorb the healing properties that nature has to offer. Your mind, body, and soul need nourishment, energy, revitalization, and strength. Nature has much to offer, so take this time to connect and spend some quality time outdoors. Absolutely. This is something that any Virgo, any Taurus would need to do. And because you have this card, I would say, take this advice. It depends where you are in the world. Spring is coming, and that's definitely the most beautiful time where plants are in bloom, and you see nature really waking up. That could be such a source of energy to you that perhaps maybe will detach you a bit from the mind and puts you more into your heart, into your body, and into the moment, which is something that Geminis do not always do, because it's just, it's all over the place and nowhere really. My Venus is in Gemini, so no criticism, please. It's just a fact. It's what it is. I know what it's like. So yeah, I would say, yeah, that this is what I have for you at this time. I hope something resonated. Don't forget, it's a collective reading, so not all of it will. And if it does, then fantastic. And if it doesn't, just take what resonated. And if you liked it, like I said at the beginning of this video, please put a like. Just drop me a comment. I'd love to interact with all of you. If you have any questions, please just put them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe so that my channel can grow and I can reach more and more of you very soon. Okay, I will be posting soon again. Thank you so much, Gemini, and have a wonderful month ahead. Bye.